This is drbeth.com, and I am going through my live power hour every month on the second Friday at 1:30 Pacific. No, 1:30 Central, 11:30 Pacific, and I talk about each one of my keys. So today, the key is self-trust. The key is self-trust, and self-trust is based on two of my brand new book characters. And one is Triple T, this little guy right here, Triple T, who sees himself as a lion, and Shaky Snaky, who sees herself as smaller than she actually is. So part of self-trust is actually getting to be bigger than you think you are. So instead of trying to play small or only go by evidence, instead with self-trust, part of self-trust is being able to look at the 30,000, 60,000 foot level and see that, yeah, I'm still where I am, but this is where I'm going, and that's who I am. I am a lion. I am courageous. I am all that in a bag of chips. So Triple T gives us that lesson in self-trust. Then Shaky Snaky, she's this huge python that's scared to death of her own shadow. And her story is she's running through the city, looking behind her as everybody's in front, terrified, running. And she's like, what are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? What are we running from? So you might be Shaky Snaky. You just don't know it. So Shaky Snaky is all of you powerful, mamma jamma, bodacious people I attract, especially women who are the pros and the coaches and the leaders and the CEOs, and you don't understand why people feel intimidated by you. You're like, what's to be intimidated by me? I'm just little old me. And so part of self-trust is to have self-awareness of how the rest of the world sees you. Second is to have self-acceptance of exactly who you are, as you are, where you are right now, even if you're in your victim, even if you're in your rage, even if you're in your, pick another word that we typically don't want to be a part of. So part of self-trust is to actually fall in love with, or at least be accepting of, every single aspect of ourselves, just who I am. And I love it. That's a part of me. That's part of who I am. And then the other one is self-reliance. That the other aspect of self-trust. And self-reliance, this one might get you, is the ability to use our inner resources to consciously create our ideals, what we want to create in the world, without constant worry about the approval or disapproval of others. Record scratch. All right. So there's one thing to be in it, but are we still seeking approval? Are we still looking for somebody else? Are you my mother? Hey, are you my mother? And for those of you that know that reference of being the little baby bird talking to the crow and talking to the crane and talking to everything, are you still looking for somebody else to fill you up? So with self-trust is you are all that and a bag of chips. You are filled up. You're the cake. Everything else is the icing. Everything else is the sprinkles on your cake. So one, I used to have this story years and years ago, and the message was, I may be face planted. I may look a mess. I may pick a word, any word, be fat, be too thin, be too broke, be too single, be too, pick whatever it is that you feel like you haven't been not enough money. So whatever the thing is that you are too or little of or too much of, what if that was just the middle of your movie? You are in the middle of the movie and you are ready to fly. So you are the triple T. You see yourself authentically. You see yourself with your reality. You're not delusional that you're a lion. You just are seeing yourself as the lion. You're stepping into your greatness. And from that space, you have the awareness, you have the love and acceptance, and you have the reliance or resilience to be in the middle of your movie and you know where you're going. So, one of my questions is, what do you trust about yourself? If you were going to fill in this sentence, what would the answer be? I absolutely trust that I fill in the blank. I absolutely trust that and here's mine. I absolutely trust that I'm in the middle of my movie. My whole life will be until the day I die. I'm in the middle of the movie and I trust I will bounce. I will go where I want to go. I will go where I say so. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about self-trust. And this month, this book came out. I don't know if I showed this last month or not, but this is my brand new, hot off the press, and it is called Dr. Beth's Emotional. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. That's my coloring book. So these are my two coloring books. This is the one I wanted to show you. This one that's hot off the press. That's pretty hot off the press too, but this is more hot off the press. This one is Meet the Bees and Discover Your Inner Family Zoo too. So this is all about Dr. Beth's Inner Family Zoo. And this is one of 13 books. There's going to be a book seven, which will have super Shaky Snaky in her little 3-year-old, 7-year-old, and teen, and have Triple T in his little a little 3-year-old, super 7-year-old, and inner teen in breakdown and in breakthrough. So this book is my bees. This one is hey cuz, welcome, welcome. So this is my brand new book, hot off the press, and it's all about all my compassion characters, but it's specifically about, if you can see here, this is Dr. B. This is my loving wise self. Here's Queen Bee, my bodacious inner teen. Here's Super Bee, bah, 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 my little perfect super 7-year-old self. And little baby Bee, this is my little 3-year-old self. And this is my vulnerable, vulnerable part of me that can feel so sad and scared and have all those feelings. And then Super Bee comes in to protect with all the logic and the rationale and the ego and trying to prove that everything's okay. And then Bodacious Bee, Bubbling Bee is like, take a chill pill, get over yourself, let's have some fun. And then the loving wise self is the part of us that really takes us to the next level of loving all of this. So we've been going through the keys of 10 keys to compassion and remind you, key one is compassion, falling in love with what is. Key two, own your story and transform your life. If you say so, you get to be right. So be ready, whatever you're speaking and enrolling and telling everybody about yourself and your kid and your employees and your spouses and anybody else in your life, you're enrolling them in your story and you get to be right. So CO is for own your story. M is for mirror, mirror. So if you spot it, you got it. And one of the things I love about Mirror Mirror is look for people you absolutely love and adore. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's my mirror. And Adeline is on here with me. Oh, yeah, that's my mirror. That's what I'm living into. My cousin, Cindy, that's my mirror. I love my cuz. And when I see you two in particular, it's like that's what I'm living into. That's what I want to be when I grow up. That's my triple T growing into my lion. My cousin Cindy has a beautiful voice, and I've always wanted to have a voice like my cousins. And by the way, Cindy, I'm going to be playing at the Wilson County Fair in at the Wilson County Fair, wherever it's going to be. I don't know where it's going to be, but I'm going to be playing my guitar. I'm going to be playing a couple of songs and talk about Shaky Snaky. I am like, feeling a little bit of my feels about being my first time to ever play live all by myself on stage with a guitar. I tried to get Billy to come and play the drums. He says he's got to work. It's ridiculous. But so anyway, with self-trust, It is loving myself right where I am, even if I'm in breakdown, even if I'm in bodacious, outrageous breakthrough. Can I love all of me? So if you have any questions about self-trust, so we've gotten through the three keys. First key is compassion. Second, own your story. Three, mirror, mirror. Key four is playful, messy. Playful, messy. This is like having fun with failure. Because if you're not making a mess and if you're not failing, you're not even on the court. Just saying. You're not even playing full out in the game. So let's have some profound playfulness. And then key five is affect, COMPA, affect. Feel your feelings, name them out so you don't act out on somebody's head. And so affect is embracing all of your feelings, the darkness, the disgust, the disdain, the braggadocious, the outrageously positive. Like, can you own all of it, or are you amputating parts of yourself? So that's key five, affect. Last month we did decadent self-care, baby. And speaking of decadent self-care, Adeline and I are getting ready to go to Turks and Caicos September the 14th through the 21st. And it's going to be all about, it is going to be all about this experience of falling madly in love with all these aspects of your own inner family zoo. And I've got so many ideas for you, but that's not even the best part. Adeline, are you willing to share the best part of Turks and Caicos? Because you've been there before. Tell them what they're really going to get to have experience.
Adult only facility, clear 80
Except
degree.
except for everybody's inner child. They get to come.
That's right.
Go ahead.
We're bringing all our inner children with us, but the higher selves are going to come out by the end of the holiday. Every night there's free entertainment, there's DJ, everything's all inclusive, food and drinks. There's dance parties, there's trapeze, there's entertainment, there's sailing, there's white sand beaches, tennis courts, pickleball courts, free sports lessons every day. So it's an amazing, and that's in addition to the Dr. Beth experience.
Yes, it's going to be a blast. So if you are interested, that's going to be happening and only have a few spots that are available for that. And we're going if it's just a couple of us, we're already out the door. I can't even tell you. So if you want to come play with us, check that out, and I'll put the link in my down below and let you know where that is. And then I want to tell you about one other thing that's happening this month, and that's August 22nd and 23rd. I have been having everybody ask me about doing another one of my Reclaim Your Sanity and Transform Your Life. By the way, I have 8 new books just in the last year. And on Thursdays, I'm having my Dr. Beth book club profound playground experience power hour. So I'm going to go through the different books and what are the different aspects of it. If you buy one of any of my books, you get to come to one of the playgrounds for free. Just come join, complimentary. And if you choose to join this deep dive intensive, what you get to do is have 8 weeks of the playground, 8 weeks of the profound playground. And that's going to start August 22nd and 23rd. If you purchase anything beforehand, you get to come to the playground all the way up until the retreat, at the retreat, and 8 weeks after the retreat. So that I'm super excited about this. This is if you have a story in your life. I'm going to give you the answer. So the answer is this. Life is but a dream. Life is but a story. And whatever you're telling yourself, you get to be right. Okay? I gave you the Cliff Note version. Now, you, like me, may be significant or stuck in, yeah, but this one feels real. Yeah, but you're not talking about a story. This is a fact. If you have anything like that in your life that you hope and wish wasn't true, like I'm a terrible mom, or I suck as a spouse, or I had a terrible childhood, or I'll tell you what's wrong with me, I'm fat. Or I'll tell you what's wrong with me, I'm gay. Or like pick a story, any story that you don't like that feels so significant and so real and you wish it wasn't true. This book is a book I wrote for myself, stayed up all night, and I've been presenting this as a 4 week experience. Did this about 10 or 15 years ago, where I had 15 women in, and we would pick, here's my story about being a woman. Here's my story about men. Here's my story about money. Here's my story about like, and every month we took a different story. For this deep dive intensive, what I'm inviting everybody to do is pick your hardest story, or if you don't think that's possible, pick an easy one and learn that it really is. And then you'll have 8 weeks after to do another story if you choose to. Or you can do your hardest story, and then if it feels like there's still little nodules to it, then you can do the 8 weeks after and do it again. So, and if you join the village, Compassion Village, you can play anytime I do any of the stories, any of the deep dive intensives. And we are building a place where imagine your loving wise self and what you would love to hear said to yourself. And imagine another human being saying that to you. And imagine you feeling safe to say that to another human being. Maybe they're in their 3 year old. What are you supposed to say? Maybe they're in their super perfectionistic, know it all little prick super 7 year old. How are you supposed to deal with that in people? Maybe they're in their bodacious, badass, rebellious, defiant, roll their eyes inner teenager. What are we supposed to do? Dr. Beth, what are we supposed to do? Well, this process is going to be about how do you deal with this in a village? How do you create your own village where you fall in love with your inner village and then you manifest and you create your outer village and you're going to become a part of Compassion Village in the retreat and in the deep dive weekend and in all the power hours. That's what I'm up to. So, does anybody have any questions about self trust or about what I'm up to or all this excitement that's going on in life? You got any, Adeline? Anything you want to add or subtract or slow me down?
And can you, yeah, tell us where we can find more information? Because that was a lot of information very quickly.
Okay. Sometimes I'm known as Shaky Snaky, where I don't even realize I'm fire hosing people. So, drbeth.com, DRBETH.com. And if you go there, you will find a drop down link that says events, and that's where you'll get that experience. And I'm also working with my tech team to get a button so that you'll have access to all the specifics, but I'll also put the separate links at the bottom in this as well. But the
Where
main
do we buy your books, though?
same place, drbeth.com, and there's a place at the top that says shop till you drop. Doesn't say till you drop, but go ahead, shop till you drop. And or you can go to shop.drbeth.com. And I have free stuff and I have a lot of freebies. One that'll actually walk you through the hour before you get into Reclaim Your Sanity so you can see if that's something you want to play with. Every month, again, I do this power hour. You can sign up for that and come back again and again and again. I'm doing it live on Facebook as well as on Zoom. And if you come on Zoom, you can talk to me like Adeline. Or you can put notes in the chat and ask me things, and I might see the chat and I might answer it if I can see it. So, anything else, Adeline? Any other questions or challenges or opportunities or anything you want me to say?
Yeah, what do you do when shaky snaky is showing its little rearing his head?
Of when Shaky Snaky is you or when Shaky
Yeah,
Snaky is somebody else?
when it's me.
Well, first, it's awareness. And let me tell a story on myself. I was at something called a power lab, and during the experience, the elites and I was in the bottom, and we flipped the experience, and then I was leading the group. And I said, everybody has 20 minutes, and they followed along, and we found a place to sleep, what we were going to eat, and how we were going to do it. Then the next morning, I passed off the torch, and one of the elites had the answer, and the elite started leading the village the way they'd been leading before, that made all of us overthrow the village. And so when this elite did this, I jumped up in my chair and I said, I'm not following. I will not follow this guy. And everybody in the room said, Beth, sit down. I said, I'll sit down when they sit down. And afterwards, I was talking to these guys, and these guys said, "Beth, why'd you de-ball us like that? Why'd you do that?" And I said, "You guys were leaders, and I didn't feel like we had a chance to participate, and I didn't want to go back to what we were doing. And you scare me as an authoritarian leader." So I saw them as shaky. I saw them as a huge python. I saw them as controlling the experience, and I didn't trust my little 3-year-old didn't feel safe with them. So I stood up at my teenager, stood up in the chair and became a total jerk to make everybody sit down. That's the first time I've ever done anything like that, and the last, by the way. Um, and what those guys said to me is they said, "What do you mean we scare you? You scare me." And I was like, "What?" And literally my head exploded. And I will never forget that, Adeline. So, what do I do with my shaky? I'm aware of her. And just this week, my brand new caregiver, who's training another brand new caregiver, told me that my training of the brand new caregiver can be a little bit too fast, too much, too big. Same thing with you, Adeline. You've done this with me several times where you've said, sometimes you say things and go places and people aren't able to follow you, or it's too much, or you're using your own language, or, whatever might feel intimidating or not helpful. And so step one is I accept that about myself. Step one is I am aware of that and I don't make myself bad and wrong. I'm like, oh yeah, that is so a part of who I am. Yeah, I get excited, I get on fire, and sometimes my inner teen is like, well, I don't care. That's gonna be who I am. I'm gonna be who I am. Sometimes my super 7-year-old is like, oh, you did it wrong again, Beth. You did it wrong again. Sometimes my 3-year-old is like, oh, I feel like I've just had my pants pulled down and I feel embarrassed about myself. And then my loving wise self says, little 3-year-old, it's okay. You're safe with me. Your vulnerability is safe. Your imperfection is perfect. Your super 7-year-old is bodacious, is outrageous. We got you. And I give her permission to brag. And my inner teen, I'm like, I know how you feel. I got that. And then I help myself say what I mean without saying it mean. So instead of bouncing back at you, Adeline, with my inner teen rage or my inner teen defensiveness, I'm like, I see your love. I see that everything you say to me is to make me better, to make me stronger, to help me bring my work to the world. I get that. I know that at a logical super 7-year-old level. So I calm my little butt down so that I don't stop you from speaking your truth. I'd rather know the truth than not get to know the truth. I don't want to be the emperor walking around like a cocky peacock. Look a little bit like a peacock today with this outfit. I don't want to be that peacock that I have a lot of people in my village, a lot of strong, powerful people in my village, and I did it on purpose because I want people to be able to tell me their truth. And if I've got egg on my face, please tell me. Now, I may say, yeah, I know I have egg on my face and I'm going out on stage anyway. And thank you so much for telling me about the egg. And I'm still rocking. So, that's what I deal. What do you do, Adeline? How do you handle your shaky snaky?
I mean, I guess I'm not very good at the not getting defensive part if someone's telling me something. So
So
that's
can
what I'm working.
so can I talk to that?
Yes.
All right. So, if I'm getting defensive, it is because I'm believing it's true. And one of my favorite things to say to people is, if I called you a pink polka dotted elephant, would you care? It's so funny. When I say this to teenagers and to 3-year-olds, they say, well, 3-year-olds say, yes, I would care. And teenagers say, maybe I would care. But when you're in your power, do you care if somebody calls you whatever? A zebra, a a rock. I mean, I don't know. Pick a word or pick something. The only reason we care about something is because we believe it's true.
Mm.
So if we believe it's true, that's our work to fall in love with that aspect of ourselves. And if you get defensive, ding, 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 juice, 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 it's juicy. There's some gold in them there hills. Go after it. Go love it. Because if you don't go love it and go after it, it comes out unconsciously. It slips out on other people's heads. It shows up anyway. Whether you embrace it or not, it's there. Like everybody else can see it. Like there's a stick right in the middle of your head. So I'd rather know about it and fall in love with it. And, like if you said to me, Beth, you're so cocky, right? Or Beth, you're so full of yourself. I know. Or Beth, you're so selfish. You know how long it's taken me to get this selfish? I have worked hard at getting selfish. I have really worked hard at this. So whatever it is, if you're pick a word, any word, if I get triggered, that's what I'm going after. Because you just got me. You just stung me. And that means I believe it's bad, and therefore there's a part I'm amputating in myself. Anything else?
No, I love that. I love that that's the work, if you feel that defensiveness and you feel like you want to, bite back to go inside and be like, why? Okay, maybe I am too much. Maybe I am extra. Maybe I can love myself for being extra. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. And what's the alternative? I mean, I'm extra. What's the alternative? I'm not changing who I am. I went camping for 10 days and I had ice all 10 days. By the way, I got a call from Michelle last night at the campsite and they evacuated. And the fire is 1 mile away from our campsite. So, and I was at the time, Beth, don't worry, the fire's so far away, and don't be so silly, and you're just her. And I'm like, okay, but my little radar's up, and the fire changed in 1 second. So trusting our intuition, trusting our knowingness. I'm going to tell one more really funny story. I was in a call last night, and there was somebody talking about their child and their adult child, their adult daughter. And I said, uh, I just had an intuitive hit because she was saying, I want to be different. Like the daughter was mad at her. Go figure, a teenage daughter being mad at a mom. That's shocking. But even adult daughter being mad at their mom, again, shocking. The reality is, the mom's trying to change herself to make the daughter happy. And this woman is my peeps. She's really powerful, and so I told somebody, I said, "Hey, if I'd love to talk to this lady if she wants, just like to give her a gift." And so we ended up talking this morning for 10 minutes. Long story short, she works with mothers and daughters and is going to be working on a TV show, and we're talking about doing that together. Like following your intuition, following the God winks, following your just following your own guidance, your own inner guidance. You be the guru you're waiting on, and you be the one that knows better for you than anybody can ever tell you for yourself. So that's what self-trust is all about. Anything else, Adeline, or I'm going to wrap it? Thank you for showing up, Cindy, cuz I love you. I miss you. And if anybody wants more information, drbeth.com. Come check it out. Come see all my new stuff. Come play with us in Turks and Caicos. If you want an intensive transformational deep dive, August 22nd and 23rd, come on. Double dog dare you. Let's do it. Bye. Call me Cindy.